You know, in my personal opinion, I think that when people talk about greats, it's just my personal opinion. When you talk about greats, you can't say who's top 5, top 10, whatever, whatever. In my personal opinion, you take each player at the peak of their prime individually and see who gave you the best and most production. That is how you judge the greatest player. I don't judge a player off of his entire career. Reason being is because times change. So as times change, it got easier for some players and tougher for some players. Some players are bigger, some players are smaller, and then they play different positions. So you can't compare. For instance, the three-point line moved in and out, different eras or whatever it was. The zone defense is not allowed. They didn't have the circle back then in the paint. So things changed to take away and add to for some players. As Wilt Chamberlain told Michael Jordan, they changed the rules to help you. They changed the rules to stop me. There's a difference. So the eras change, and that's nothing personal against either one of those players, because I think both of those players were great players in their time. But if you take Michael Jordan at his peak, Wilt at his peak, Kobe at his peak, Shaq at his peak, Russell Westbrook at his peak, Kevin Durant at his peak, Kevin Love at his peak, we put them out there at the peak of their prime, at their best, and we judge, out of all that best, we judge which one was the better player and who gave you the most production. That's just my personal opinion on how you define who the GOAT is, because it's just too many different variables to try to say, well, he outdid this and he outdid this and he did this and he didn't. Because the eras changed. The game changed. The officiating changed. The rules changed. So you can add to one player because you took away from another. That's not fair. Take each player at the peak of their prime, put them out there, and see who gave you the most production and who was the better player, who dominated the most at the peak of their prime with the most production. And there you will have your greatest and best player at the best time of his career, at the peak of his prime. It's your boy Puller. Just my opinion. You may not like it, but statistically speaking, you have to take that into account. The players at the peak of their prime. Look at what he did as a totality at his peak and judge him with the rest, with all the criteria, and see who comes out on top. And there you will have your GOAT.